Hello everyone, it's me Solitary here again, and I am hitting you guys up with a review of one of my favorite franchises, Transformers, but this is going to be based off of the brand new game that has just been released called Transformers Fall of Cybertron. Now, there's a lot of improvement, I will say, on the campaign, which is what I loved about it. The opening segments of the campaign is what I really loved about it. Playing through as Bumblebee, you still get the choice of playing through of almost all the Autobots and Decepticons. You end up playing both sides, the Autobots and the Decepticons, the same time around, just like with War of Cybertron. Now, the only difference with this, I might add, with campaign, after you beat it, you do not unlock anybody at all for escalation mode, just like you would for War for Cybertron, which was RC and Slipstream. But for this, you don't unlock anybody. So, and with multiplayer, I might add, they improved a lot with the multiplayer segment, I might add, and this time around you can create your own Transformer based off body parts of all of the Transformers that are featured in the game. You can even upgrade your weapons, speeds up reload time, weapon accuracy, ammo capacity, stuff like that, which you can do for your weapons. And for you still have your standard weapon loadouts and all of that, and your abilities for each classes. You have the Infiltrator, Destroyer, Titan, and the Scientist. Still the same, just like in War for Cybertron, but they put in more time and effort into the multiplayer segment from what I noticed this time around, and it's more balanced this time around, which is a good thing, I might add, because in War for Cybertron, with the multiplayer segment, it was pretty unbalanced, because with the War Cry ability, you can just use that and the Telsa cannon, and you can pretty much one-hit kill anybody upon will. No matter if they have a barrier shield or so around, you can pretty much just kill them point blank and simple. But the only thing I have a problem with the game, from what I noticed, that seems like a step backwards to me, is the escalation mode, which was a very fan favorite from all across the world to everyone out there. They took a step backwards with escalation. They tried to improve the gameplay wise of how the way it's played by cutting down the wave segments. I noticed they cut it down to 15, which to them they saying adding to 15 waves is supposed to make it more tougher this time around. But with War for Cybertron, it's an endless cycle of waves. It's never ending. So which one would you prefer, 15 waves or endless? And another thing I have noticed with escalation, you get less characters this time around. I don't understand what High Moon were deciding with this segment, because they already removed in the campaign, they already removed co-op, 3-player co-op online for the campaign. So I was really expecting them to really increase tenfold on the escalation, since it's basically co-op wise the way you think. Now with Fall for Cybertron, they cut down the characters for escalation, and they had them tasked down to specific roles for it. Now you have your healer, you have your scout, spec ops, who gives you ammo, who supplies the team with ammo, including himself, and then you have your sentry, and then you have your defense barrier, Now with War for Cybertron, you can do basically the same thing, but with War for Cybertron, it had more characters. Now that's the thing about it. With Fall for Cybertron, they decided to cut down on the amount of characters, which I don't understand, because if I recall, recently they did stated that Fall for Cybertron has 2 times the characters than War for Cybertron did. Now, the fact is, it does though, but in reality, you can't really play with those characters though. In multiplayer or escalation, you can just play with those characters in campaign. Even a couple of the characters that you did used to play with in War for Cybertron, like Breakdown, Sideswipe, Thundercracker, Air Raid, just to name a few. You can't even play with them anymore. Now, I'm gonna let you guys look at the escalation characters that you can play with in War for Cybertron on both sides, on the Autobots and Decepticons, and tell me what you think.
Escalation. Escalation. Escalation.
Now tell me there, folks, do you see anything just odd about that to you? Because now since the Day 1 DLC is out, which is just Zeta Prime and a couple of other people I can't remember right now, but the Day 1 DLC, it's really just there for multiplayer purposes. With that, all that is in that pack, you can just use the DLC characters and that for multiplayer purposes in creating your Transformers for your classes. And with that, you can't even use those characters at all for escalation. But in War for Cybertron, you can do both, which doesn't make any sense to me. So I'm really feeling like Activision is pulling probably DLC on us with this. We'll probably have to pay for those characters or so. I don't know. We'll just have to see in the future what DLC they're going to throw at us. The only thing I will say this time around is, if they do decide to do DLC for escalation, at least do an escalation map where you get to play with the Dinobots, just like I'm seeing everywhere else people are asking as a DLC. I would like to see how that is implemented. Give us more characters or so, or probably have us to where we can change the setting for escalation. Instead of 15 waves, how about make it endless or so? Now, how I feel this game, in my opinion, the verdict for this game, I give it an 8.0 out of 10. Now, it's a great game to pick up. Don't get me wrong. I will say pick this game up or so if you're really a big Transformers fan. If you're looking for something new, I would wait. Just a month or so for the price to go down. And also, if you really just like the idea of escalation or multiplayer or so, you can also pick up War for Cybertron as well. There's still people playing War for Cybertron too, even though this game is out. Even there will be about 1,000 to 3,000 people on or so. That's about it. The traffic for that game, that's pretty much what all you're gonna get for that game. 500 to 3,000 for the game, for War for Cybertron anyway. So this is Solitaire here again, and let me know what you think about the review. Comment your thoughts or so, anything like that.